Hi there, I'm Father Edward Hauschild and this is Ask a Priest, where I answer some of the questions on the Ask a Priest subreddit. So this question is from LeatherTax3074 and they've asked, can I go to confession with a priest at a different parish? It says, I haven't been to confession for many years and I haven't wanted to go in my own parish, as I'm fairly certain my priest will know who I am. We had a visiting priest covering Mass on Sunday and I'd really like to see him for confession. Is it weird to email and ask? Well, this is a great question. Now, whenever you go to confession, it happens under a special rule. That rule's called the seal of the confessional. What this means is that everything that's said between you and the priest is an absolute secret. The priest isn't allowed to tell anyone what he's heard from you. He isn't allowed to tell anyone anything he's learned in the confessional. He's not allowed to tell anyone that he has even heard your confession, and he isn't allowed to use anything that he's heard in the confessional to the detriment of the penitent, that's the person confessing. The Code of Canon Law, which is the set of rules for the Church, says in Canon 983, the sacramental seal is inviolable. Therefore, it is absolutely forbidden for a confessor to betray in any way the penitent in words or in any manner or for any reason. So from the get-go, I wouldn't be too worried about confessing to your parish priest because he's supposed to forget what you tell him anyway. And in any case, he can't say anything about it afterwards, even to you. However, there are times when you might not want to go to a particular priest. For instance, novice masters in religious houses and rectors of seminaries, i.e. the priests who train other men to be priests, are not allowed to hear the confessions of their students unless those students ask them for confession. This is because these men have to make decisions about whether or not their students are suitable to be ordained as priests, and it would be inappropriate for them to have access to information that they've learned in the confessional that they're then not allowed to use. So, generally speaking, those people aren't allowed to hear the confessions of their students, and they have to bring someone else in from the outside to hear those confessions. Likewise, I currently live on an island where the only available priests really are myself or the parish priest, and the fact that we live together and work together so closely would make it very difficult to go to one another for confession. Imagine if I got angry with him and then I had to go and confess to him that I was angry with him. He would then know that I was angry, and he'd know what I was angry about, but he couldn't address that, because that would be acting on something that he'd learned in confession. What a mess that situation would be. That means that both he and I either go to confession when we're off the island, normally once a month or so, or in a pinch we go to one of the other two priests who live on the island but aren't in full-time parish ministry. Likewise, I know lots of parishes where the parish secretary won't go to the parish priest, i.e. their boss, and will wait for a visiting priest or go to the next parish over for their confession. So if for whatever reason you don't want to go to confession with your parish priest or to any particular priest, you're free to ask any priest for confession. And it's been my rule, at least since I was ordained as a priest, never to say no when someone asks me for confession, and I'm sure lots of other priests feel the same way as well. So this has been an episode of Ask a Priest. If you have a question that you want to ask, drop it in the comments below or comment on the Ask a Priest subreddit and hope that I see it there. Goodbye and God bless.